Okay, let's unpack this. When you think about workplace coaching, for the longest time, the picture was pretty clear, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Reserved for the top brass, the execs.
Exactly. Sharpening strategy, leadership skills, but only right at the very, very top. That picture, though, it's changing fast.
It really is.
So our focus today is on that big shift, coaching, spreading out, becoming available really to all levels in an organization. We're diving into an article from the Ingomu Coaching App's blog.
Good source. And the title says it all. The expansion of coaching to all organizational levels.
Right. We want to get into the why behind it, what benefits companies are actually seeing, and how things like the Ingomu app are making it happen.
And connect it all back to you, the listener. How this might play into your own career, your own understanding of how companies work today.
Makes sense. So maybe start at the beginning. Historically, it really was just those senior folks.
Absolutely. The whole idea back then was about honing that strategic thinking, right? High-level leadership, big decisions. It was seen as an investment purely for the top tier.
Because the thinking was improve the top and it'll, what, trickle down?
That was the logic, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Invest in the leaders, the benefits filter down. But, look at the workplace now. It's changed so much.
So that trickle down idea, maybe not enough anymore.
Exactly. The article really pushes back on that, suggesting it's just not sufficient for today's demands. We need something more fundamental.
Okay, so what is driving this change then? What are these modern workplace pressures pushing for broader coaching?
Well, there's a lot going on. Think about agility. Organizations need to be so much quicker, more adaptable.
Constant change, right?
Constant change. Then there's emotional intelligence. It's gone from like a nice to have to pretty much essential for just collaborating effectively at every single level.
Not just for managers.
Not at all. Plus, continuous learning, it's not optional, it's survival. And everyone's dealing with, hybrid work chaos, roles shifting under their feet, new tech all the time.
And huge expectations for innovation, for teamwork.
Huge expectations. And those pressures, they aren't just felt in the executive suite, they're everywhere. Entry level, mid-management, team leads, everyone feels it.
Right. So the argument is coaching can help people handle all that.
Precisely. That's where this democratization idea comes in. The article makes the case that giving everyone access to coaching equips them with the tools they need.
What kind of tools are we talking about?
Things like better self-awareness, first off. Understanding your strengths, where you need to grow.
Yeah.
Sharper communication skills, absolutely critical now. Stronger problem solving so people can tackle issues themselves. And importantly, it helps to build leadership potential, regardless of your actual job title.
So it's less about fixing top-level problems and more about building capacity everywhere.
That's exactly right. Building capacity throughout the entire organization. And the article actually backed this up with some pretty powerful numbers. This is where it gets really interesting.
Okay, let's hear them.
So they cite the International Coaching Federation study from 2023. It found companies with coaching programs saw up to a 40% jump in employee engagement.
40%. Wow.
And get this 30% higher retention rates.
30% retention. I mean, just think about the cost savings on recruitment alone, let alone keeping that experience in-house. That's huge.
It's massive. And it goes beyond just keeping people. Another report they mentioned from the Human Capital Institute and ICF found a 35% increase in internal promotions for leadership roles in companies that offer coaching across the board.
Okay, so you're not just hiring leaders, you're actively building them from within, people who already know the culture.
You got it. It feeds this pipeline. It challenges that old idea that leadership development is only for those already in leadership spots. You're spotting and nurturing potential much earlier, much wider.
That sounds like it contributes to a healthier overall culture, too.
Definitely. They call it a coaching culture, and there's data on that, too. The Institute for Corporate Productivity found in these cultures, 77% of employees feel more responsible for their own growth.
That sense of ownership, that's powerful.
It translates directly. They saw 20–25% improvements in team productivity. Creates this shared mindset, continuous improvement, taking accountability.
Makes sense. If you feel supported to grow, you're naturally more invested.
Right. And one more key finding, this one from Harvard Business Review Analytics Services. Companies investing in coaching, they're 22% more likely to navigate big changes successfully.
And change is the only constant, right? So that adaptability, that resilience, it's critical.
Absolutely essential for staying competitive.
Yeah.
So you put all that data together.
More engagement, better retention, stronger internal leadership, a culture of growth, more resilience.
Yeah. The case for democratizing coaching moves from being like a nice perk to a real strategic necessity.
It really does seem clear-cut when you lay it out like that.
That's the core argument. When more people get quality coaching, the whole organization benefits, which naturally leads us to how this is happening practically. Platforms like the Ingomu app.
Right. The article mentions their belief coaching shouldn't be some exclusive privilege. How does their app actually make it more available?
Well, their focus seems to be on making it scalable and inclusive. So the app connects people across the company with coaches who have different specialities, leadership, career stuff, personal growth,
Okay.
and they offer different ways to access it. Live group sessions, which are more scalable,
Mm-hmm.
on-demand resources people can use anytime, interactive live events. It's a mix.
So it's not just the traditional, often expensive one-on-one model.
Exactly. That's still an option, sure, but this blended approach makes it more flexible, more convenient for employees, and crucially, more cost-effective for companies, especially smaller ones. It makes broad access actually feasible.
It feels like a much more integrated way to think about development.
It is. And the article frames this whole trend as really the future of talent development, making it truly inclusive.
So we're moving beyond just, offering training courses. This is more fundamental.
It's deeper than just training, yeah. The article really emphasizes it's about building leaders at every level, creating teams that can handle whatever comes their way, and embedding growth right into the company culture.
It echoes that Ingomu idea you mentioned.
Right when everyone gets a chance to grow, everyone has the potential to lead. Doesn't matter where you sit on the org chart.
It's a pretty significant evolution, and interesting how tech is enabling it.
It really is. And just briefly, the Ingomu blog has other pieces that touch on related themes too, like one called Beyond Smart Goals,
Mm-hmm.
about merging structure and emotion in coaching,
Okay.
and another titled Why Coaching Belongs in Your Employee Assistance Program, suggesting that coaching is becoming more integrated into overall employee well-being.
Interesting links. So just to pull it together then, we've seen this major shift. Coaching isn't just for the corner office anymore.
No, it's becoming a tool for growth across the board, for everyone.
And the evidence seems strong, better engagement, people sticking around longer, more leaders coming up through the ranks.
A culture focused on improvement, and organizations that are just fundamentally more resilient, real tangible benefits.
And technology, like the Ingomu platform, is making this widespread access actually practical and affordable.
Yeah, bridging that gap, which leaves us with something for you, the listener, to think about.
Go on.
Just consider this whole democratization trend. How could it change things in your world, the company's, maybe your own career path? What potential gets unlocked when everyone has access to this kind of support?
That's a great question. Could broader coaching change how we think about potential itself? Definitely something to mull over.